Hi, my name's Jack Mills. I'm currently in high school. I like playing video games, fishing, playing sports. Ratchet and Clank All for One is a very cool game. I used to play it with my dad when I was younger.
Hi, I'm Bryce. I'm 36 years old and I've been raising money for Extra Life for the last 10 years. I'm Jack's dad. I've been playing Ratchet and Clank ever since they came out on like the PS1, PS2. They're all amazing, some better than others, but I've always loved Ratchet and Clank. When the PS3 game Ratchet and Clank All for One came out, I was playing that all the time. About that time, Jack was getting just old enough to be able to like hold a controller and maybe press one or two buttons. And I figured out that because it is a co-op game, allowing up to 4 players, and kind of basic, that I learned that he was able to basically shoot a gun, move around a little bit, and they have a button that basically lets one player swing to another, just like cling on to them. So I would do most of the level, and then I'd be like, okay, Jack, you gotta get to me. So I'd just have him press the triangle button and he'd just swing to me. Basically, I would just kind of handle the combat and he'd just kind of follow along. And then over time, he would get a little bit better, be able to shoot more, but we would just be playing that game a lot when he was first learning how to play games. Jack's mom had told me that he had been having vision problems and they were taking him to see the eye doctor, but I was off that day and he was coming to town and I was like, oh cool, we can see the Ratchet and Clank movie because it came out that day. It was the perfect timing. And she would let me know when they're done with that so I could go get him and we could go see the movie.
So I went in and then they dilated my eyes. And then the doctor looked into my eyes and saw that something was enlarged in my eyes. And they wanted to get a CT scan immediately to see what it was. We got one, and then we were admitted into the hospital. The doctor came in and said that they think that I had cancer.
As I was kind of waiting, I was getting texts from her going, something's going on, it might take a little bit. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll have to see a later showing. And then got a message saying that they think Jack has cancer and they are flying him to Sioux Falls. So at that point, I realized we're not going to see the movie.
It made me feel nervous. It was all strange to me and it felt like it was going too fast.
And yeah, the next day they ended up calling him for his surgery, and I remember him crying before he went in. You know, I tried to assure him that, you know, everything's gonna be fine.
They woke me up at 6 a.m. in the morning and I wasn't into it, but I did it anyways. So they draw my blood, all that stuff, and we went into surgery.
And then it was just a bunch of waiting. But then eventually they called us and said he's done. It was actually good news that when they finally talked to us is they said that basically his brain tumor was globby in a way that it was pretty easy to remove. We kind of got some good news out of that. We were worried about, you know, how he was going to do coming out of it. He managed to recover from that and then went on his long chemo journey.
I remember the chemo team being very nice to me. With that chemo treatment, it killed off the good and bad cells. So after that, I had to get hearing aids and I wasn't able to smell that good either. Lost my hair. As you can see, my hair grew back, but now it's in a lot thinner state and does not grow as full as it once did.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Kinda Funny's Extra Life. This is going to be 12 hours of video game streaming, all to raise money for the Big Beautiful Kids as part of the Children's Miracle Network.
The year that Jack ended up having cancer and was going through chemo, a YouTube channel I watched called Kinda Funny had just started, and they were doing Extra Life. And I hadn't even heard of this charity before, but they were talking about, oh, you can sign up for Extra Life and it'll benefit a Children's Miracle Network hospital of your choice. And I was looking into it and saw that oh, I could select Sanford Children's Hospital, the hospital where my son was getting treatment and had his surgery, and learned that whatever money was raised would go directly to that hospital to help them. So I signed up for Extra Life myself and started raising money. You should donate to Extra Life because it goes to Sanford Children's Hospital, which helps kids like my son, who helps so many kids throughout the area. Your donation will allow them to get things that will make it easier for them and make it easier for the families that are going through these difficult times.
When I found out that I was cancer-free, that made me feel very happy, and I didn't know how to show it at the time, but I remember giving my mom, my stepdad, all hugs, and then my family came and they were all grateful, and they were cheering and they were crying and all that stuff.
I think there was a part of me that always figured Jack was going to get through this and be fine. So when Jack let me know that he heard back from the doctors and was finally officially cancer-free, it felt like there was a weight lifted off me. But at the same time, it was a thing where I was just like, nothing's gonna happen to this kid because he's so strong and he's gonna make it through this.
The staff at Sanford Children's Hospital was amazing. They made you feel like family. They didn't make you feel like, oh, you just had this terrible thing happen to you. And they made you feel like you're a brother or a sister.
There were so many great things that they did to help keep Jack's mind off what was going through and make him excited about the process. I know that one of the things that they do for people who are staying there is they will have them decorate one of the ceiling tiles, and they'll be able to hang it up in the rooms, and you can look above you and see all these kids who have decorated ceiling tiles before. And so when Jack was getting stronger, they had him decorate one of the ceiling tiles that I'm sure is still up there for some other kid to look up and go, oh, I wasn't the only one who's going through this, there's other people. And so much of the staff is focused on being able to help kids that it felt really assuring to know that if anyone was going to be able to help Jack through this, it was going to be the people at Sanford Children's Hospital.
We did watch the Ratchet & Clank movie.
I ended up going to one of his chemo treatments after the movie came out on DVD because I knew they had DVD players. They had Xbox 360s in the hospital rooms that he had been staying in, and brought the DVD into the hospital and we watched it while he was recovering from chemo. So me and Jack have played so much Ratchet & Clank All for One because we've been playing it since he was very young. But because it was a PS3 game and Jack had chemo and there was all these things, we've never finished the game. We've maybe gotten, 3-4 levels in. But Jack is cancer-free. He's about to turn 18 and be a full adult. And it is the 10th year of me raising money for Extra Life. So I figured this is the time. Literally the day before he turns 18, we are going to load up our save of Ratchet & Clank All for One that's got our characters, that's got our levels, that's got our weapons unlocked. And we're going to finish the game from the start to the finish all in the one day and raise money for Sanford Children's Hospital while we do it.
If I could go back in time and tell myself what I was going through and what it would be like, I would tell me to not worry, that everything's going to be fine. The people that you're going to meet are going to be your family, going to be your friends, and going to take care of you. Thank you to everyone that given back to me and prayed for me. I really appreciate you, and thank you for everything.